Hello investors, wishing you all a happy and fulfilling day. To start this video, I'd like to congratulate everyone who has been following along and managed to buy crypto at attractive price levels. If you've entered the market at good accumulation zones, I recommend holding your positions. It's not time to sell yet, as there are no clear signs of distribution. Stay patient, and you'll likely see the profits you're aiming for. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump straight into the crypto chart analysis. Looking at the current chart, we can observe some signs of weakening around the current price zone. This is a critical area where investors should watch closely. When crypto corrects, it's important to assess the depth and nature of the correction to decide on the best entry points that fit your personal portfolio strategy. As a retail investor myself, I always prefer to buy only when prices are in a reasonable accumulation zone, especially when there are signs that institutional investors may be accumulating. Ideally, we want to buy where prices are less volatile, providing a more stable base for new entries. However, when Bitcoin moves higher, many investors tend to chase the price at elevated levels, which can be risky. Buying at those highs might result in getting stuck at the top. If you still want to buy high, please be cautious. Be ready to monitor the price action closely and sell if necessary, even within the same day. The key is to adapt quickly based on market conditions. Currently, as previously shared, BTC has had a relatively strong accumulation base. If you're looking to enter, the lower edge of that zone is likely safer. That said, we are now seeing signs that BTC may be breaking down below that accumulation area. Buying at the lower end of the range usually means less risk, as you won't suffer major losses if the price drops from the upper accumulation area. That's why I often emphasize this for those of you who enjoy or even feel addicted to daily trading. Right now, with signs of market weakness, it's better to wait for a proper correction and price stabilization before making any new entries. A final reminder, for those who already bought at attractive levels during the accumulation phase, hold tightly. The market still shows no signs of distribution, so it's not the time to sell. However, let me also share a hypothetical scenario. If BTC fails to hold this range and starts a sharp breakdown, you should be prepared to exit quickly, especially if you entered from the lower accumulation zone, as I previously recommended. If the price only corrects slightly, you can continue to hold your position confidently. Make sure to stay tuned to my videos for real-time updates and insights. Thank you for watching. Now, let's take a look at the ETH chart. Looking at the chart, it's almost unbelievable, isn't it? ETH has performed very well. Congratulations to everyone holding it in your portfolio. Just like I mentioned in the previous video, I believe your ETH holdings still have room to grow. With the strong upward move, I hope you'll stay patient to maximize your profits. However, for those considering opening a new buy position, I don't recommend it at this stage. During a strong uptrend, ETH can experience sudden pullbacks or reversals, even within the day. This can be dangerous, especially for less experienced investors who may panic or get caught up in rapid price moves. If you prefer to trade actively buying and selling within the same session, you should wait for a proper consolidation zone, one that confirms the next trend direction. Only then should you consider entering and exiting short-term trades, depending on your strategy. On the other hand, for those who aim to hold mid to long term, I suggest not buying at this level. As a retail investor, it's important to choose your entry point carefully. Entering at strong accumulation zones gives you the best chance of both profit and safety. At the current price, it's unlikely ETH will break out immediately. That's because there's a major resistance zone, as I previously mentioned in earlier videos. The more likely scenario is that ETH will need to consolidate again, and that's already happening now. If you entered ETH at lower support levels, just hold your position. You're already in a good spot, but if you're thinking about buying ETH now, it's not safe. For those who bought ETH at the price levels I previously recommended, it may be a good time to take partial profits up to 80% of your position. Since ETH is now entering a sideways or consolidation phase, it may take quite a bit of time to break through this area. You can consider selling and locking in some gains, then watch the trend before making your next move. Entry or exit points for the stocks or cryptos you're currently holding, helping you optimize your portfolio if you bought at the wrong time or wrong levels. Recommending strong stocks or cryptos with solid trends if you're looking for ideas. Feel free to reach out to me anytime if you'd like support. Next, let's take a look at the BNB chart. Yes, BNB is showing a very strong trend, isn't it? Congratulations to those of you who followed my previous video and entered at a great position. Well done. The buy zone we discussed, where there was a clear test of supply and demand before BNB broke out, turned out to be an excellent entry. There were signs of accumulation and price was pushed up beautifully by strong hands. If you bought at that point, you can continue to hold your position. However, I do not recommend opening any new positions at the current price. Even though, in my personal opinion, BNB could see another strong price rally in the future, I don't believe that moment is here yet. Currently, there is no safe buy zone, so I advise against buying now to protect your portfolio. Once again, congratulations to those who are already holding. Continue to hold firmly for potentially higher profits ahead. However, if after the current pullback, the recovery appears weak or unstable, I suggest you sell quickly to manage risk and protect your capital. Let's review the stock chart of Google. We can see that this stock has currently risen in price. Although the increase compared to my personal buying point isn't significant, you all likely have a much better entry position compared to others. The time to buy this stock was at a price level that most investors were afraid of. That's the best moment to enter a stock. Now, the stock has gone up, but at the current price level, many are hesitant to buy, fearing a potential reversal and price drop. If you're anxious like this, you'll always be investing in a state of unease and worry, which makes it very difficult to sustain long-term investing. At the current price level, heading into the next trading session, I don't recommend that investors buy in. For those who have already bought, hold onto your positions. Notably, for investors who like to buy and sell within the same session, this stock may not be the best choice because it's in a consolidation and accumulation phase. Therefore, leave buying and selling immediately won't yield high profits. You should choose stocks with a clearer trend and stronger price breakout momentum for better intraday profits. The current price range of this stock is more suitable for investors who buy and hold with a patient, steady approach. The stock has already delivered good profits, but at this resistance level, it needs more time to consolidate. I congratulate all investors who secured a great entry position and hope you'll continue holding to achieve even higher returns. While there are many good stocks for your portfolio, finding ones that allow you to optimize both a safe entry point and profit potential is very challenging. Only my channel shares such insights extensively. My channel can be considered a practical stock investment guide, helping you buy, hold, and offering excellent advice on when to sell when necessary. Next, let's take a look at the chart of Pleater's stock. The chart shows that this stock is quite strong in an uptrend, although it has undergone a healthy correction recently. However, for strong stocks like this, it's still a good time to jump in and establish a position at the current moment. We should still adhere to a stop-loss rule of cutting losses at a 3% decline. Therefore, everyone can immediately look for buying opportunities whenever there's a slight pullback. You can open a buy order for a certain quantity to establish a probing position for your portfolio. At this point, aggressive investors buying in is still reasonable. Given the strength of this stock, we need to invest more flexibly compared to other stocks, and as investors, we must observe it very closely. This stock has a strong tendency to push prices upward, and if it enters a price surge phase, it could deliver an excellent upward move for investors. Next, let's review the chart of Avgo stock. This stock looks quite impressive on the chart, with a very clear trend and stronger movement compared to my observations. In my opinion, this stock stands out as much more attractive than many others. For stocks like this, we can look for buying opportunities during price dips to establish a position for investors. As mentioned in my previous video, you should immediately sell if the stock drops by 3. Investors can revisit that video for reference. The reason I consider this stock strong is that, as I noted in the prior video, it needed to consolidate before breaking out. However, it has continued to rise with a narrow trading range, which is a positive sign for a stock rated as high quality. In today's trading session, we've seen a correction, so everyone can consider buying a small amount to establish a position and wait for the next trend. And now, let's take a look at the stock chart for IN2, which I mentioned in a previous video. Congratulations to all investors who followed my video and managed to buy in at such a great price range. Currently, with this stock, we should continue to hold and wait for further gains. After shaking out small retail investors, the stock has regained its upward trend, which shows that it's very strong. So, for those who bought at the price level I mentioned earlier, keep holding on to enjoy better returns on your investment. I'm confident that the price range I recommended was one that many other investors were too afraid to buy into. But those who did, got in at a very ideal price, possibly the best buying point for this stock. As of now, the stock has increased beautifully and has broken through resistance, confirming its next growth momentum. Congratulations again to all investors who followed me and bought into this stock at the ideal level. I currently view this stock very positively. Today's trading session showed a nice correction, offering a good buying opportunity for those who haven't opened a new position yet. The next session could also be a good entry point. For those who bought at lower levels, you can keep holding to continue profiting from this stock. I hope investors can find a solid portfolio with good stocks you're holding. These stock picks are based on my personal opinion. If you have better entry points in mind, feel free to comment and share with me for further discussion. Or you can ask me about any stock you're currently losing on, especially if your entry point wasn't ideal, and I'll be happy to share insights and help you learn. Please note that these are personal views and come with a disclaimer of liability. I believe you are smart investors, so you understand your own buying, selling, and holding strategies better than anyone. That's why it's important to stay healthy so you can make the best decisions for your portfolio. Thank you, and see you in the next video.